Hey, happy Sunday. Sunday Night Live at 7 with Derek Gant. This week I was asked by several people, including local news, to kind of clarify as best as my ability what's going on with all of the banks and the big bank in Silicon Valley crashing. What does it mean? What does it mean to you? Is your money safe? Are you safe? What should you do? We're going to talk about it, and we're going to get into the weeds really quick in just a couple seconds.
Yeah, it's time to live your life. Derek Gant, show them how to take it to the highest height. Hey, this is more than financial advice. Show you how to take control, time to get your money right. Money management, I know that we all need financial independence. Yeah, it seems out of reach, but you can make it happen. Now it's time for some action, helping you with your finances. Yeah, we got a passion. Hey, ain't no limit. Now it's time to get it. You deserve to have a life, how you wanna live it. Secrets to success. Now it's time to get it right. Yeah, I'm talking all about that 24K life. Let's go. This the vibe. For real, I'm trying to tell you. Tell me if you ready to take it to the next level. Derek Gant, talking fitness and investment. Change your mindset and show you how it's all connected. Ain't no need to hesitate or delay. Only way to live life is a 24K. Hey, Derek Gant, let them know. Let's go.
Are you ready? All right. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. If you are on YouTube, LinkedIn, or Facebook, please drop a hello. Let me know that you're here, and I'm happy to answer any direct questions. Now, we're going to be talking about the banking crisis, the banking situation. More importantly, the crash of the Silicon Valley Bank, what it meant to those depositors, those account holders, what they should be thinking. What should you be thinking? Is your money safe? All of the vital, important questions. So we're going to jump right into it. I'm going to give you an overview, and then we're going to talk about what you should be doing, what you could be doing to protect yourself. So basically, when you look at a massive banking institution or any bank institution, they have certain regulations and rules that they have to abide by to make sure that depositors' monies are safe. When the most recent past president was in office, he removed some regulations, some accounting regulations that institutions like banks had to report in order to let people know how solvent they are, meaning how much are they able to meet depositors' demands if they need to withdraw funds. Now, banks don't keep, all of your money in the bank. What they do is they match a certain percentage of your deposit. They're allowed to loan out, to give out in the form of a loan. And they understand that there's going to be liquidity and there's going to be some debt inside of their institution. So what they have done in this particular situation is to remove some regulations. There were over $12 billion in bonds that basically lost money. But because of the reporting regulations, they didn't have to report that they lost money. And so they were running a really close ship as far as being upside down. The bank's assets weren't sufficient enough to cover a $12 billion dip in the finances. Hi, Tara. How are you? I see you're joining us from YouTube. I'm excited about that. The closer we can get to the YouTube, the better, the happier I am. So I'm glad that you're here. Make sure that you like, share, and comment. So thank you so much. And so we're talking about the banking situation and what you can do to protect yourself. And so we're explaining that banks have to follow certain regulations, but when those regulations and rules are removed, they don't have to follow them. People are not going to self-regulate. Companies are not going to self-regulate. When a company can get away with running close to the razor's edge, they're gonna do it. And that's exactly what happened in this situation. So good evening, Kobe McDade. So professional, also joining us from YouTube. Thank you so much. I appreciate you joining. Someone else has joined us also. So make sure we know where you are, who you are, and what's going on. So we're talking about the banks. And my sister Kobe and I have been talking about this, the last couple weeks. And so, these bonds have taken a big dip. Hi, Coach Dawn. How are you? Also on YouTube. YouTube is making a run tonight. I love it. So these bonds, $12 billion of bonds lost value. So it put the bank in jeopardy. They didn't have to report it. Now that's terrible. But the more important bad-ishness is that they knew the bank was going to fold. And so they began to pay out bonuses. So they knew it was something bad was happening, and they began to pay out bonuses. I knew from 2008, Too Big to Fail, that the government was not going to allow a bank in Silicon Valley, the basket of million and billionaires. We're not going to let those people go without getting their money. There's a bunch of reasons why, but just trust me. But you and I don't have that same luxury because we don't have that same power. See, with the government, they know those people are contributing not only to society, but they're contributing to political campaigns. And so they're not going to let all that money just disappear. Good evening, Rashawn. How are you? Joining in from LinkedIn. We're getting all the great places that people are joining in from other than the traditional Facebook. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So I was asked, this all started, everyone, because I was asked by a client, I was asked by the local news and a couple other people, hey, you should go on and explain this whole banking thing because people are nervous. So here's the thing, your money 9 times out of 10 is safe. Now, their money obviously was not safe to the tune of $250,000 per account. So if they held 3 different accounts, they would be insured up to $750,000. Now, to myself, you might say, well, I don't have $250,000 in any one bank account, maybe my pension, and we're going to talk about that in a second. And so, you're safe. Most people are safe. It used to be $100,000, and I would tell my clients, look, we're not going to put more than $100,000 in any one particular bank. So we might end up with 5 accounts. Now, when it comes to your investment accounts, let's stick with the bank. So with the bank, you are insured. That account is insured up to the $250,000 by the FDIC, the Federal Insurance Depository Corporation. With your investments, it's the SIPC, Securities Insurance Protection Corporation, and they insure each individual account up to $500,000. So, most people, and when I say most people, let's just be honest, we'll say that 80% of the population is pretty safe under the 250, probably 65 to 70% is safe under the $500,000. Because people aren't saving those big chunks of money. However, if you are that individual, my suggestion is to obviously put bigger chunks inside of a securities firm. So I use Charles Schwab to manage my clients' investments. And so you can put money in a money market account up to $500,000 and it's protected. Now, you can put that in an account that says Derek Gant, and you have up to $500,000 protected. Now, Derek Gant can also have Derek Gant IRA and have another 500,000. I can have Derek Gant and Devin Gant joint account and have another 500,000. And so as long as the account is a different account, usually titled differently, then you'll be secured to that 250 or $500,000 level. So, what should you be concerned about? Should you be concerned that your local bank, your regional bank is going to go under? Banks, like any other institution, as I've already mentioned, they're going to press the envelopes of regulations, because if regulation says I don't have to report it, that means that I can take more risk, which means that we can make potentially more money, because you understand the investment game, right? Higher risk, higher reward. Also, higher probability of loss, but most people or institutions aren't thinking about the loss part as much. So if you have a question, make sure you ask, because this is the time to make sure that everybody's crystal clear. So what do I recommend as a financial professional? So the first thing that I recommend is that if you're not even close to those numbers, that you stop reading and thinking about all that stuff and go back and focus on getting $250,000 so that you can start worrying about this kind of stuff. Great problem to have to think about, right? Having more than $500,000 that you need to move around, more than $1 million, you need to figure it out, move it around, keep it safe. And so I'm not suggesting that the government is going to always bail out every institution. I'm not suggesting that. What I am suggesting is that there was way too many multi-millionaires in that Silicon Valley Bank for them to let that bank go upside down. AIG was an insurance company and a banking institution as well. In 2008, they were not going to let AIG fail. It was the single largest financial institution in the world. They were not going to let that thing fail, because too many people would have gotten hurt. And they want their tax money. They want their political contributions. And if you don't know who they are the government. So here's what you should be thinking. How can I protect my money? And then I'm going to tell you about where money's going. So right this second, unless you have those numbers, you are protected. So you're good under 250. So start focusing. I tell my clients, and I don't care if they're six-figure clients, meaning they make well over $100,000 or less. I am encouraging all of them to build their financial stability. So I am telling them and pushing them to get six figures in an emergency fund somewhere. That is $100,000 somewhere. When my son, before he got his first paycheck, I shared with him, your goal is to get $100,000. I couldn't invest in certain things with certain individuals until I had six figures. They wouldn't even let me in their investment pool till you get there. And so what I'm sharing with you are the things that I've learned. And what I've learned is that you want to make sure that you are safe, that your family's tight, that your money's right, that your foundation is good. Because when your money's good, your mind is more clear. Do you ever notice, like, the funnier your money is, the fuzzier your mind is, right? The more concerned you are, the worse decisions that you make, you tend to shut down. This is not a phenomenon. When you are insecure because of finances, it spills over. Any insecurity spills over into fear into worry. Worry, I won't even go there, but you know where this all goes. So we want to get our money game super duper tight. I'm suggesting that things are going to correct. There's going to be a correction. It is going to hurt. Is it going to be as bad as 07, 08? I don't think it's going to be as bad, because it's not going to be strictly real estate driven. That was a real estate driven fiasco. And so many people got hurt. Their properties were underwater. This time it's going to be different. So you should be looking at your finances. And number one, you should have a money system, right? Most people's money system is, this bill needs to get paid. This company's calling and screaming at me for money. I owe this credit card company extra. And so you pay the squeaky wheel. Loudest voice gets taken care of. And that's not the proper system, because everybody's going to be screaming at some point, and you can't take care of them all. So if you owe people money, the first thing to do is to get debt free. We take our clients and we have a certain percentage of their money go into an emergency fund that they just cannot touch. We also have probably an equal amount of money. So let's say they have an extra $600. So we might put $300 in emergency fund and $300 extra on debt. Now, I can get into debt elimination with you and kind of walk you through that whole process, but we're not going to do that on a Sunday Night Live at 7. If you have debt, credit card debt, revolving debt, not talking student loans, or house debt, but revolving debt, equity lines of credit, credit cards, carrying big balances, then you should really drop me a note, and I'm going to send you our workbook. Now, in the midst of this conversation, I'm going to share with you really quickly that you should not feel bad about having this debt. And the reason why is because no one ever taught you. They didn't teach you in school. They didn't teach you anywhere how to manage your money. They don't want you to know how to manage your money. They want you to make it and spend it. And they want you to get credit and borrow and spend more than you make because it locks you into working. It locks you into working. And so all of a sudden you have this habit. So I have this client. It's a new client, and she's been with us about 4 months. And so she called me and she says, I didn't realize how hard it would be to see money in my account and not spend it. To see money in the account and not spend it, because there was never any money in the account, because the check would come into the account and then bills would get paid. And then she would be struggling for gasoline and groceries and all the personal care things. So we set her up on our money system. And I'm not here pitching our money system. I'm going to tell you what it is, so you don't have to worry about it. I'm not pitching it. I'm going to tell you what it is. Now, granted, there's some extremely fine tuning inside of it, but you first of all have to know where all your money is. It has to all come into the same account. And then you need to separate out what's for you and what's for bills, right? I'm not going to get into the big details, but you want to separate it out. Once you separate it out and you know what's for bills, you never touch that money. It's only for bills. And then you figure out what you need for hair care, what you need for gasoline, for groceries, for your kids, for schools, for lunches, for all the stuff that's personal care. Now, your personal care should not be more than 25% of your income, your bring home income. Forget the gross, right? You're not bringing home gross, you're bringing home net. So you're spending personally, gasoline, groceries, hair care products, prescription drugs, all of that should not be more than 25% of your check. So, but we can worry about that later. So your system is, I got money, I know where it is, I've looked at my expenses, I looked at what's left over, I'm going to strategically work on putting some money in emergency fund and putting some money on my debt, because you want to be debt free. So the thing is that I wanted to tell you, I'm sorry, and I forgot earlier, I was telling you it's not your fault, because they ever taught you about money. And they want you to spend your money. They want you to spend every gosh darn dime and then more on a credit card. They want to make it easy for Amazon to drop ship. They want to make it easy to say, hey, I took my aunt in this past week to get a Sleep Number bed. And they had this big red sign that said sale. And it was everywhere. And she goes, wow, everything's in the store is on sale. And the lady says, well, not really. A lot of stuff's on sale, but not everything. It's a trick. Putting stuff on sale that's already overpriced is a trick. I mean, like, are you serious? It's a discount. Okay, but they priced it. Never mind. You should know this stuff. And if you don't, you need to follow me a little closer. You need to listen to more of our YouTube videos. You need to call us and get on a discovery call. It's joinderek.com. If you want to meet with me one-on-one, or one of the individuals on my team, go to joinderek.com. Give us your name and your email and your number, and we will reach out to you, and somebody on my team will schedule an appointment with you. We have great individuals that work with us, that work for us, that help our clients fix their money issues. So you have your emergency fund, we're paying down debt, and you should be focused 100% on getting rid of this debt. Now, when you get rid of the debt, the beauty of it is that you're debt free, except for the house, the student loan, and the car. We're not talking about the big debts. You're debt free, but more importantly, you're no longer paying those bills. So now you have more cash flow in your house. Now that we can add a vacation account, right? Now we can add a remodeling account for your kitchen. Now we can do a roof account or new furnace. I was talking to a client today, and she said that her furnace went out a few weeks ago, and she ended up getting so incredibly blessed, but she was scared to death it was going to cost her $8,000, and she didn't have the $8,000. So she was blessed. So anyway, thank you, Coach Dawn. We like the facts, just the facts, ma'am. 1 Adam 12, one Derek 24K. So you want to get rid of the debt because it increases your cash flow. And so they never taught you about your money, but here's what I'm going to teach you. Just because you don't have enough money, just because you don't have all the money that you want, it doesn't mean that you're spending it wrong. Unless you're putting it up your nose, unless you're putting it in your veins, unless you got diamonds and I got stuff on $1. I got this for $15. My buddy gave me this Apple Watch. I did buy this, probably $60. I don't, the only thing I have on that costs money is this, right? Like real money. My point is that I don't waste money on material things. If it doesn't create more cash, then it's really not in my repertoire. So, and it shouldn't be in yours. So just stop buying stuff. Stop spending money on Amazon. Save that money. Let's get debt free. Now, once you're debt free, you got more cash flow, but you probably still won't have enough cash flow. So we will sit down with you and help you figure out how to make more money. Your problem isn't your spending. It's your income. Your spending's fine, unless, again, you're blowing it on furs and gambling. Now, there's a lot of people that gamble. I know a lot of people that gamble, and hope you wake up one day and you realize that you are losing, right? You might make $10 on this ticket and lose $10 on that ticket. You think you're even. You're losing money because you paid $10 for the ticket. Okay, or $1 for the ticket, or whatever gambling is. Should you play on the big ones? Sure, why not? Every blue moon you can play. But for those of you that are wasting, if you're a gambler, I know it's a disease, and I'm not saying it's easy. What I am saying is that anytime you have a problem, you're overweight, you're broke, you gamble, you drink, you do drugs, whatever the problem is, the first thing to do is recognize that you have a problem, and then let's go attack it. First thing, recognize it. Second thing, where can I get an answer? And how can I do it slowly? You didn't get into it fast. You ain't going to get out of it fast. And give yourself some love to get out of that problem succinctly. So the trick to not worry about the market going to hell in a handbasket, the trick to not worrying about the banks collapsing and stealing all of your money is, number one, let's get some money to worry about. Let's get over that $250,000 mark so that you can worry. That'd be a great thing to worry about if you have 4 accounts with $250,000 in them. My aunt even asked me, and I'm like, look, babe, you're good. We got your money, and we got this account, we got this account, we got this account, we got this account, we got that account. So we got to diversify. I'm an expert. That's why I'm here telling you. You got to spread it out, and you got to protect yourself. So that is your lecture, your class on money management and what you can do. I'm going to suggest to you strongly that you start attacking your debt. I have a debt elimination strategy. I'd be happy to talk to you about it if you want to talk about it. If you don't have a money plan, you need a strategic plan, just like you need a fitness plan, just like you need a nutrition plan, just like you need a relationship plan. If you don't have a plan for your relationship, it's just going to go where it goes. I'm not a big believer in just letting shit happen. I'm a believer in saying, hey, what do I want? What do I see? We talk about that vision. So last week we were talking about BAR, right? And we're still talking about BAR. We're still talking about what you need to do to prepare yourself, to protect yourself mentally, physically, financially, socially, relationship-wise. So I don't know if you recall, but last week, and we're shutting this down, my sister said, hey, I think she said it live. Maybe she told me one-on-one. Maybe it was one-on-one. But in any event, she said, hey, bro, I want to talk to you about creating more passive income. She's on here. Kobe, tell them if I'm lying or telling the truth. And she says, I want to talk about creating more income. I need more passive income. And, passive income is amazing, but let's get more income. We're talking about all of them. So when she told me that a week ago today, I started thinking about it. She's my sister. I know her not as better than she knows herself. That's a lie, but I know her better than most people. So I started putting together a plan in my head, and I went through it with her in detail yesterday. And I probably gave her too much detail. But what I'm trying to share with you is that if you do not have an idea about how to create more revenue, and if you do have an idea, but you're not strong enough to implement it, if she said that she halfway listening, because I told her to say if I was lying, and she says, yes, that's what I'd like. So I did talk to her, and I laid this out for her, and I gave her all these details, gave her 2 or 3 pathways that she could go that are in her unique universe of doing better, of doing things that she loves to do that wouldn't feel like work, right? So you'll do some stuff if it doesn't feel like you have to do it and it's work. The reason why I'm so successful at what I do, and I'm not bragging, I'm just telling you, the reason why I'm so successful at what I do is because I unequivocally, absolutely, incomparably love to help people with their money. I love it. I love it. I love to see people's eyes welter up and they're crying because they got thousands of dollars they never had before. That should be you. It should be you. Okay? It will be you if you start to do these basic things. This is free information that I'm giving you. I promise you, you can ask Rashawn, you can ask Terry. I was not giving this information away a year ago or 2 years ago. Setting up the money plan, I wasn't giving that away. You had to call me to talk about this money plan, but I'm giving it to you because I want you to understand that it's not your fault that you're broke. It's your fault if you stay broke. It's your fault if you worry about being broke. It's your fault. It's not your fault if you listen to these videos and you start taking notes and you start implementing some strategies for yourself. If you start getting on the phone and calling people that you believe can help you. Now, if you call a regular investment dude, I'm telling you, they're not going to help you unless you have $100,000+ to invest. If you call them up and say, hey, I got 10 grand or 5 grand, or I got $1,000 and $100,000 idea, you can forget it. I'm just telling you, go ahead and try it. They'll take the appointment, but they ain't gonna help you. I'm here to help you get the money. And then we'll worry about managing the money on the next video. But this video, let's get the money. So just like I did with my sister, I've been blessed with the gift to help people figure out how to monetize their gifts. And simply put, if you have something you do really well, but you don't know how you can get paid for it, I can show you how I can see how to monetize that so you can start getting paid for that. That's what I would suggest that you do. I would put my head down. I wouldn't do anything but get out of debt. I wouldn't do anything but stack cash. I would not even, investing is awesome. It's wonderful. It's lovely. It's great, but it's not great. Somebody called me a couple days ago, chick from Florida. And she says, hey, I was talking to you and I want to start saving for this house. And I want to make sure that I don't waste the money because it's going to be 4 or 5 years. So, where can I invest to make sure the money's there for the house? And the honest truth of the matter was, and I told her, I didn't lie to her, you don't have any money. You have no money. If you had $10,000, you have no money. Okay, so let's look at it this way. If you have $10,000 and you call up an investment person like myself and you say, I want you to invest this. And I say to you, okay, great. I'm going to put it to work for you. And if it's a great year, you get 10% rate of return. You just got $1,000. So you got $1,000 after waiting 12 months. That's $100 a month. You can save, if you listen to me, you can save $100 a month without the risk of the investment. I know you want the 10, but 10 only matters if you can make it 12, if you can make it 24, if you can make it 48. So it's the philosophy, it's the strategy, it's what you learn in the process of saving the 10 that gets you to 20. It's not the 10 investing it that's going to turn it to 20, right? It does happen. but it's not going to happen right away. It's the process. You get better from the process. It's like watching paint dry, and people can't stand in our microwave society watching paint dry. So they're unwilling to go through the process to be financially stable, to be financially secure, to be financially free. It's all a process. It's not too late. You can start today. Listen to what I'm saying to you. Share this video, like this video. Make sure you say Derek's the man. I'm going too far. I'm just teasing. So this is the process. So I'm suggesting to you that you do it with your kids. So let me finish my allocation. So you should have 25% on your personal care, no more than 15 to 18% for transportation. And I will tell you, I'm going to go ahead and say it, Black folks, man, our transportation is usually over 25% of our income goes to transportation, because you go out and you buy some car that's $600 a month, and that's more than your house note. Don't do it. Take it back. I've had clients that like, look, I know it's embarrassing. Take it back. Give it back. Give them the keys back, because you're never going to be financially free, always living on the razor's edge. Give the car back. You just need a car to get you to work. I told you this last week. Look at really wealthy people. Yes, they might have a Ferrari in the garage, but you only see them driving the Hyundai. You only see them driving the Honda. You only see them driving the Toyota, right? They take the other car out when it's fancy time. So my point is that when they buy a car like a Range Rover, $110,000 Range Rover, it's not even 1% of their net worth. When you go out and buy a Range Rover, it's frigging 25, 30% of your net worth, if not more. And that's how the rich get richer, and why we hate them, because they're using money, biblical, financial principles that work universally. And we think that they're just getting over because they're rich. No, they had to get there. It was a process. They were willing to roll their sleeves up and do the work. Let's see what some of the comments are. I love it, Coach Don. You are the man because of the work you're doing to help us. Oh, yes, yes, yes. So I want everybody to win. I mean, isn't it better when everybody wins? It's better when everybody wins. And let me put it to you this way. Let's say it's not better when everybody wins. Isn't it better when you win? I know it's better when I win. And so I want you to win. You've taken the time out on Sunday after Sunday after Sunday to come see me, to commune with me. And I want to give you something back. And this is what I'm giving back. Stop worrying about that 5% interest, that 7% interest, because you ain't got no money. It's a trap. It's a trick. It's a distraction. Get some money. Save up 50 grand. Save up 100 grand. And then start investing. And if you mess up the investment, you're going to fall on 100 grand of cash. Speaking of which, we talked about 15% transportation, 25% in your housing, personal care, 30% max for housing. Banks won't loan you more than 30, 32% for your housing, so don't go over that. So you want to take these numbers when you do your budget. And if you haven't done a budget, you don't know how to do a budget, hit me up. We'll send you a budget sheet. We'll send you our income workbook sheet. We will send you our passive income workbooks. Now, most of those went with a program. You can still get them and figure them out. You know what? There's always Derek on Demand. Every video we have about getting out of debt, about fixing your credit, about this emergency fund, about these allocations, is all of it's on Derek on Demand. And I made it so incredibly dirt cheap that people who say they can't afford to pay thousands of dollars to a financial consultant like myself, you know what? I gave you grace. All you got to do is sign up and watch the videos. Tara's on there. Coach Don is on there. Kobe's on there. Rashawn's on there. And so are 100 other people. So listen, do your part. Do your part, and then you won't be embarrassed. Then you won't be guilty. Then you won't feel crappy. You'll feel strong. You'll feel confident. And let me tell you something. When you feel good about your body, your mind is feeling good. Then you start feeling good because then you get this money right. So then your money's good. Then you start working on your relationship, and your relationship's good. See, good, like I told you last week, this is all about building momentum, right? It's about building momentum on the upswing. And we want to do it across the board. You know, you want to do it in every aspect of your life. You want to be fulfilled. You want to be strong. You want to be confident. You want to know that you now have something to give back to other people, because this is not my information for just you. It's my information for you so that you can give it to your kids, so your kids can grow up with a third of the stress. And you know, these kids don't want to work, so they need a third of the stress. But a third of the stress that you've had financially your whole adult life, you know, let's start them on the right foot. Let's start them off knowing that they can be secure, that they don't need the system. Now, I'm out of time, but next time, and maybe not next time, but sometime soon, we're going to talk about the future of money. There is going to be a world currency. It's going to be a world currency. They're going to be doing a lot of things with that world currency to try and control, because this entire game, the political game, the money game, all of it is about control. You don't want to be controlled. I can tell you, I don't want to be controlled. So understand you have the power. Understand you can start putting these tools in place. Understand, just close your eyes and imagine having $50,000 in cash in your bank account right now. It's not going anywhere. It's not for anything. It's just there. And then also imagine you got another stack of 10 in your safe at home. So you got 60 grand that you can put your hands on in a case of emergency. No boss can tell you, can talk down to you and you take it because you won't work under those conditions, because you can go get another job, because you can take off a month and go find a better job because you have a reserve, right? You know, spouse, no one can control you. This is all about control, and you want to be able to control you. You want to be able to support you, and you want to have that confidence. Put your shoulders back, put your chin up. I'm good, and mean it. Not Instagram good, not social media good, like good. So, hey, tomorrow night on High Vibe, Coach Dawn and I have our second episode. I can promise you, because we already shot it, that it is 3 times better than the first episode. That is a space where we're just talking about things that affect regular life, that affect men, that affect women, that affect couples, that affect people. It's a great opportunity to chop it up and to get a complete perspective of some things that are troubling people. This week, we are talking about fake it till you make it. Should you fake it till you make it? We differ a little bit on that, but we figure it out and understand that there's some times to do that. But today's not the day. Today, we're going to get our money right. Today, we're going to get our mindset right. And today, we're going to we're going to share, and we're going to talk to other people about building their financial foundation. And when I say other people, I'm not talking about your coworkers. I'm talking about your immediate circle, because they need it. I'm Derek Gann. I want you to be your best, bring your best, leave nothing to chance. How many people ask you if they can help you and truly mean it? Well, we truly mean it. We are financial consultants and advisors, and we want to help. We want to help people to figure out that if they restructure their spending habits, if they restructure where they're putting their extra money, if they don't have extra money, if they restructure how they think about it to get some extra money, to build some savings, that you can live a better life. You can live less stressed. You can have more of the things that you really want, not less. Structure opens up the opportunity to do many things if you just put your mind to it. If you just get some help. We're money coaches, we're consultants, we're advisors, and we want to help you. But you have to ask us first. I would challenge you not to wait until you get in financial trouble to figure out how to get out of trouble. Let's recognize that we're not using our money wisely now, and let's do something aggressive about it. We're here to help. I hope you decide to ask.